Good afternoon. It is Sunday, August 14th. 13th. Okay, we'll make that, change. You won't see this part. Yes, you will probably. I'm Pete Drackstrom from letpeteplan@gmail.com, and I'm an agent for Boardwalk Travel Agency. And this is my lovely wife, Jule.
I am, now two things. I am an independent boutique partner for Style Dots, an interchangeable jewelry company. You can find me at jule.styledotshome.com. Or if you're interested in Mary Kay, I'm also a representative for Mary Kay, and I have a website, www.marykay.com/JuleD.
And we are also the parents of Nick, Corey, and this guy, Wyatt, over there. And he will be our live studio audience because I think we shut out all of the animals this time. We are going to talk about EPCOT, Experimental Prototype Community of Tomorrow. And we're going to probably do it like we always do. We're going to go and look at food first because we're hungry. Or no, actually we're not, because I just had some stuff to eat and I know they've eaten. Although it is getting to that point in time of the day when we're thinking about eating again. And we probably will definitely be thinking about eating again after we talk about this. Because if you are a foodie, EPCOT is your theme park.
Oh, it is. Yeah, it was originally designed. He did talk about this in the last little bit.
In phase one. This
is
part
we got another phase two. The idea behind Walt's design was to really make this a place where it was a working, living environment that was a little more of a controlled thing. So there was this want or this need and push for the image of tomorrow and what tomorrow was going to bring. And so that was his original plan, was to kind of see that. Well, it really became more of an entertainment park, or as you said earlier,
edutainment.
Edutainment, I like that word.
And
education.
And to be honest with you, a lot of the change came around. EPCOT became the second park of Walt Disney World back in 1982. Yes, it was 1982.
I trust you.
And because they celebrated their 40th right after Magic Kingdom celebrated its 50th.
Yes.
When Walt was first started buying up all this land in Florida, he had a vision of this experimental prototype community of tomorrow, that people would live and work, and that he wasn't really envisioning a copycat of Disneyland. I mean, he wanted some of that aspect in it, but he didn't want. But this was his baby. This was his goal. It never came to that. I think more because when Walt passed on, people were wondering if they were going to ever get anything accomplished, and if it wasn't for Roy, his brother, stepping in and really taking over, probably wouldn't have seen the Magic Kingdom, and Disney would probably not be the conglomerate that it is today.
Right. I don't think people would have really understood that.
Right.
It's even hard for me, I'm thinking now, to really envision that idea.
The closest thing that ever came about that, a community for Disney, I would have to say is Celebration.
Yeah.
Even though that is, and it's just like pretty much any other city except the prices are a little higher.
I was gonna say, honestly, the villages are sort of like that.
Kind of. I would say that, we live.
They kind of have an idea that like each
they're
little village
kind
has
of
their
self-governing.
yeah, kind of, and they turned into little individual places to be.
Yeah, and they have things. Now, beyond all that, we're going to be talking about food, just like we do every first thing. This will definitely be at least 2 episodes.
Yes.
Possibly
EPCOT
3.
has lots there.
EPCOT is not the largest theme park. That would be Animal Kingdom, which we'll talk about next. But it probably has the most to offer in the forms of definitely food.
Yes.
This is a foodie's paradise.
Yeah, it really is.
It has many wonderful restaurants, many of which we will talk about today, some of which we have ate at, and we'll definitely go into those, but I will also talk about all of them. Now, it's kind of broken into 2 different parts. You have
That's what I was going to say, actually.
Okay.
I think there's almost like 4.
Yeah.
And you really want to know the truth.
And to be honest with you, the way it's being rebuilt right now, I think they're going to start calling them neighborhoods, kind of with the idea of this thing. And there's going to be even more, but you have what I was thinking, really 3, if you wouldn't talk about
right.
it. We have the seas and the land, which are kind of in the same area.
If you go in, like you're going into EPCOT, it's to your right.
Yeah, and that's where Soren is. That's where Living with the Land is. That's where Nemo and friends are.
A little bit of Figment right now,
and Figment. And then if you go on the other side, you're going into I don't want to say Future World, but I mean it's got Mission Space and now Galaxies, Guardians of the Galaxies, Galactic Rewind stuff.
Yeah.
It's got that area over there. And then if you walk, eventually, you can't walk straight ahead anymore because walls and everything. But when you walk straight ahead, you will start to see the World of Nations. And there's 11 of them. And some people start in... Now, I shouldn't do that because you guys are all going to wonder. But some people start to the right and go to Canada first and work their way around to Mexico. And then there's some that work from Mexico all the way around to Canada.
And there isn't a good way to do it. It's all good.
I
was only saying 4 because to me the ball sort of has its own little.
Well, yeah, and
if
you can get the ball, which is from
Because
now on, we're going to say that it is a ride. It's called Spaceship Earth, and it's kind of the park icon.
Yeah.
Well, it is. I shouldn't say it is.
it.
It is the park icon.
Yes.
Much like the castle is Magic Kingdoms, and the Tree of Life is Animal Kingdoms, and I guess Tower of Terror is Hollywood Studios now. It used to be the Hat and used to be the Water Tower.
Yeah.
But you know,
but each one has their
Spaceship Earth is the icon, and it is a geometric dome.
So what things do we need to know before we go into EPCOT?
It is definitely. I was thinking about this earlier. It's definitely a 2-day park.
Yes.
I don't think you can just go. I mean, we can because we've been there so many times. We can go there and say, okay, we want to do this, this, and this. But there's no way you can do it in one day.
And not do it well.
I don't think there's any park in Disney World that you could do it well in one day and get everything in. Now, there's some that, some people will say it's a half-day park. They're only talking about the attractions and getting them done. They're not talking about everything you can do. Yeah. But this is definitely, and I would say Magic Kingdom are definitely 2-day parks to get everything done. Get a lot of things done. I don't think you could ever do everything.
If you're talking about eating, you need to also always check the festivals before you go. don't go with the intent that, oh, somebody ate at this one place and they want to know where it's at, because it may not be there. With the festivals, there are a lot of things that open just during certain festivals, and certain foods that are available only during
you
certain
have different
festivals.
kiosks during the festivals, and they usually, like, Food and Wine has some of the same ones year in, year out. However, there are new ones
Yes.
every year. I mean, there's new treats every year, and if it's just
You
like
never
there is
know,
now.
and you'll end up
Right
with a
now,
pickle milkshake.
yeah. As of now, in August, starting in July, we started EPCOT started Food and Wine, the International Food and Wine Festival, presented by Corksicle, which is the sponsor of this, and they have different places throughout the park that have little kiosks that are either based on
They have everything.
different countries, different
You never
different
know.
types of food. But there's so many of them.
Changes.
There's so many of them, and actually they even change throughout the time, because it runs from mid-July to mid-November, and I know of a few of the kiosks are not supposed to open until September, October.
Yep.
It's just that way. We've already been once. We'll be there
A few times.
It's fun. Now there are.
So what are we?
Well, since we're talking about the festivals, we might as well talk about the festivals. Okay, we have the Food and Wine. Soon after the Food and Wine's done, roughly about a week, maybe 2 weeks, we'll start the International Festival of the Holidays, which will run from November 24th, I think, all the way up to December 30th. Then you will have the Festival of the Arts, which is the newest of the 4 festivals.
And
that starts sometime mid-January, runs through early
March.
End of February, early March. It's the shortest, because then right after that, or soon after that, is the Flower and Garden one, and that runs almost from March until about a week, 2 weeks before Food and Wine start up again. EPCOT is the home of the festivals, and one of the new neighborhoods will be solely for festival stuff, from what I gathered.
So what do you want to go to
now we're going to talk about food.
Which ones?
Well, we'll go table service.
Okay.
I'm going to do the outside of the World Showcase first.
Okay.
Because there's a few, and we're just talking about table service, and these are ones that require a reservation.
Right.
I can think of a couple in one
you
is
want to tell us your favorite first.
Oh, my favorite of the table service.
Yes.
I would have
of the ones you've mentioned on the outside so far first.
Yes. There's not too many on the outside.
There is one that I have a favorite. When he gets done.
She has a favorite.
I have a favorite. I like the Garden Grill.
I was going to say that.
Which has kind of a feast kind of thing where they bring the main dishes and the sides to the table, and you all get to kind of partake in a little bit of everything.
I agree with you.
And you also have a character meal there.
It is a character meal.
You get to see some of your favorite. Chip and Dale are there.
Mickey's there. Pluto's there.
Yeah.
It is in the same. It's in the Land Pavilion, and it's right between Living with the Land and Soarin'. And
it is upstairs, folks.
It is upstairs.
There's an upstairs and downstairs, and you want to go upstairs for that.
And is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I think it is. Maybe I'm wrong.
I was thinking. I think you walked up to it. Maybe you're right.
I think it's upstairs.
I think maybe you're right. I don't know.
Either one.
You're not going to miss it. You're not going to miss it.
And the restaurant actually goes around.
Yeah, it does rotate.
Moves.
And you are actually...
It's not enough for you to notice.
No,
so
it's not. You don't get... There's no way you're going to get motion sickness.
You won't notice it.
Because, for one, my daughter and my wife, who do get motion sickness, didn't have any qualms about it. Now, we ate there during the pandemic.
Yes.
It was one of the times that we went during the pandemic. And to be honest with you, and this is not indicative of usual, we got that reservation while we were in the parks, and then we just said, hey, let's see if anything's open, and we checked it out, and we got there, and it was good. And the characters were back. However, it was kind of weird because they were behind you, and if you wanted to picture them, you had to have your phone out and kind of, they were over here, or turn around and take pictures.
Yeah. But it was
it was
good
good.
food.
It was fun.
It's good food, especially if you have somebody who is kind of picky, doesn't necessarily want. It's pretty plain food. You're getting your chicken, your beef, your macaroni and cheese, your mashed potatoes, getting things that the average person's going to pick up off the menu.
Yeah, it is kind of like a farm raised food, and which is true, and hence the name Garden Grill. But a lot of the food comes directly from the stuff that you learn about from living with the land.
Yep.
And their own hydroponics and other...
And we'll discuss that next time.
And we'll discuss that next time.
Okay, do you have another one besides
the
that?
other one I was going to think of is Coral Reef.
Oh, yes.
Which is over in the seas.
That's one of those I kind of like. Sometimes.
I only like it because of it...
You get to...
You're sitting there and you're watching it's
a fish tank.
It's a fish tank. It's a
fish
huge fish bowl, and you're sitting there and watching sharks and dolphins and sea turtles and other sea creatures kind of swim by you, and it's real. It's a huge water tank that
and you are eating
aquarium
fish,
and mainly you're eating fish, so you're watching what you're eating. No, not really. I don't think any of the fish were from there. They do have land-based food too.
Yes, they do.
They have steaks and they have things, but basically you would go there for the seafood and also to be able to watch. It's not the best. It's not the worst.
It's got a few quirks that you all need to know if you go there. One, it's dark.
Yes, it is
and
dark.
So seeing your way there, it's a darker place and it's hard to see a little bit. And there's many levels. So, like, you're going down steps. If you want to get closer to the fish tank, you have to go clear to the bottom level. So you go down a number of steps. So be prepared. You have a stroller. That'll have to be packed up but the strollers have to be packed up to be able to take down there. So.
Well, and also with that said is that you got people who are on the upper level, and it's not like you're so far away you can't see anything. But you got kids who want to go over and look at the fish tank. Well, you're sitting there eating, and there's people around.
Yeah. So,
but it's
a little unusual.
It's good.
Yes, it is.
I would, if you want to eat there, and if you're looking for it,
it's your 4 out of 5 kind of thing.
It's not that expensive. According
to Disney.
According to Disney, it's not. It's not the most expensive. And Garden Grill isn't either. It is. Garden Grill is and I will tell you the prices here pretty soon. Here, I'm gonna pull some of this stuff up.
I've got some of the prices. I don't have that one though.
Okay, but Coral Reef is okay, and I can get to Coral Reef pretty quick. Okay, Coral Reef restaurant I got right here.
It is $15 to $35. It depends on whether the adults are 35 and the children are 15 per person.
Yeah, but it kind of depends on your
Well, I'm just
what
telling
you're
you.
eating. Okay, I'm going
From
by the actual menu. Like if you want shrimp and grits, $34. If you want the actually most expensive thing on their lunch menu is prime rib, and that's at $36. The least expensive entree is a mushroom ravioli.
Which really, honestly, this isn't too bad for Disney. That's not terrible prices.
You know, for a prime rib at $36, and you will find out later, but that's pretty cheap. And that's a 10 ounce piece of steak with potatoes and onions, and and that comes with it. And of course, they have their desserts and and it does have.
So, is there anything else out there that you like table service wise? I don't know how much there is other table service.
I'm trying to think. Not really table service, because the only other thing I could think of.
Okay, but we're only on table service right now.
Okay, so now we're going to go. Now we're going to go to.
If you go into the
World Showcase, and if we want to just go around, do we want to start in France? Do we want to start in Mexico, or do we want to start?
We can start in Mexico because I've got it.
Okay, Mexico.
Well, there are two things I'm going to tell you. First of all, there is a restaurant outside, La Hacienda de San Angel. That restaurant is not necessarily my favorite. However, if you have a child that has a disability like an autism, there is indoor seating, and you can go in later in the evening, sometimes, and say, can I get a fireworks seat? And they'll sit you by the window so that your child can watch the fireworks without having the loud banging and booming.
If you have someone who has sensitive ears, sensory problems, it's a good place to eat. And it's not
my very favorite food, though.
And price wise, you're talking about the same as with Coral Reef. According to this, we got it's anywhere between $15 to $34.99 for adult, and that might be.
And it's very close to that. It may not be exactly.
But when we say close. Outside, and I think there's literally some outside city, but seating. It's Mexico has this huge pyramid.
And inside the pyramid is actually their they have shopping, and they have a ride, they have a boat ride. 2 restaurants. There are 2 restaurants inside also. Plus, there's a thing called EPCOT.
Yeah.
And they have some little things that kids can do, like coloring pictures.
And I think that travels all the way around.
It does, but that's where their kid. That's where their EPCOT is.
It is
the inside. I just like my Mexican food, so that's why I know a little more about this.
And we ate there recently.
There is, if we're talking about restaurants, there is the San Angel Inn, which is a little different from the one outside. The other one's La Hacienda de San Angel. But this one is San Angel Inn. And San Angel Inn is a very, first of all, the inside is very dark. Mm-hmm. So this restaurant is very dark. There is not a whole lot of space in this restaurant. We had discovered that with the wheelchair, that it was not easy getting the wheelchair in there to try it. The food, though, is authentic Mexican. It is good Mexican, and it's flavors that you definitely don't get everywhere else. It was really good. If you like Mexican food, I think it was one of the best Mexican I've had down there.
Now,
in total.
Some people will disagree.
Yes, there are some people that don't like it at all. I think some of it is atmospheric is some of the issue because it is so tight.
Yeah.
A lot of people, I think, you feel like you're kind of on top of everybody.
You are very cramped, and it is
It's
very
very
dark.
dark.
I suggest
It's a romantic place.
I mean, if you want to, I mean, if you're not there except for date night, have your flashlight ready to be able to read things.
Yeah.
But it was good, and I'm not by any stretch of the imagination a big fan of Mexican food.
Yeah, that's kind of it has to be.
I ended up having
and it is also 15.
Yeah, it's
so it's about the same.
And I had something that was kind of in between. I had a Caesar salad with shrimp, and the shrimp were cooked to perfection, and the salad was very good.
And you gotta love your tahini because they like tahini.
And
that's TAJAN.
Yeah.
Tahini. I think it's TAJIN. Tahini.
But
there's the spice on. If you go in your grocery store, you'll find the spice. But then if you're are we also talking about what else is in that section?
No, let's just go on to, I guess the next stop would be...
No snacks then? We're not going there either?
No, we're just going to go through the table service.
Not table service, but...
Well, reservation type.
Sit down
stuff. Our next stop would be in Norway. Yes. If we're going around, and I think of Akershus. Royal Banquet Hall. It is a buffet, or at least it used to be. I think it still is.
I think it is.
And it is a character buffet. It is...
who does it have?
It has the princesses. And if you have little girls...
Or big girls.
Or even...
Us big girls like that.
Our flirt back here had a great time.
I don't know where he's at.
He's kind of cashed out a little bit, but he batted his eyes, and they were all over him. But they have probably the best selection of princesses at a character meal.
Yeah.
Anywhere on property, and that includes Cinderella's royal table.
Yeah.
We've eaten at both, and we were most recently there at Akershus with some friends of ours, and it was the girls' first time, and they're both. One of them had just graduated from high school, and they had a really great time. One of the girls.
And the food?
And the food was, it's a blend of American traditional and Norwegian style food on a buffet.
Right.
It is what you're paying for
is the
princesses. The food's not bad.
Because how much is it?
It is over 60.
It's $63 per adult, and it's $41 per child.
Yeah, and so price wise, I mean, if you got a family of 4, and they're all above the age of 10, you're looking at $252 plus tax plus tip. It can be pricey.
The food is worth it. I mean, it was very good food. Don't get me wrong, but it is
not $63 for that.
I think if you're getting the princesses too,
if you're getting the princesses, but just the food.
I don't think any place there is worth the amount they're paying for it if you're not counting the other parts to it.
And we'll get to Le Cellier later, but
go ahead. But that's the only place sit down for there, I think.
Yeah, it's the only sit down there that definitely it's the only one we've eaten at. unless they have another one. Just, one of the beautiful things about EPCOT is you can go from Mexico to Norway to China.
All by you can do that.
All within 50 steps of each other. China, sit down. I've never eaten there. I don't think I've eaten anything from the China Pavilion. They do have the Nine Dragons restaurant.
I went there this last time.
Was it good?
I stepped in. It was good. Was it outstanding? No. I give it 3 to 4 stars out of 5. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it was not any better than a nice sit down meal. I did get like hot tea and a little bit different. Now I will say the dessert. I had a dessert that had bean paste, which I hadn't. I know some places have that. I just had never really had that, and it was really good. It was almost kind of gave it there was some like a strawberry taste, but with the bean paste then added to it for the coloring, and it was really good. But like the rest of the meal was pretty much average. But it was a place to definitely get dry, considering I was soaking wet and it had poured rain.
Yeah, it was definitely.
Everybody there was soaking wet. They were giving me paper towels just to clean up. I said everybody's wet, but Nine Dragons. I mean, if you're getting out of the rain, I don't know that I would specifically go out of my way to eat there, but it's not bad.
I'm looking at things, and it seems to be the only sit down. Well, I shouldn't say sit down table service restaurant in China, the China Pavilion. We go on a little further, and
you get to where?
Where do we get to? Germany. Is it Germany next?
Huh?
Is Germany next?
No, Germany's not next.
What's next? Is it Japan? No, Japan's after U.S.
You're asking the wrong person. I thought you had the...
I think it's Japan. I mean, Germany. I think it is Germany. Yeah, I think it's Germany. And my favorite restaurant.
I don't think it's Germany. I'm pretty sure it's not.
Well, I'll look at a map of... or is it... It's not a...
I'm going to find out.
Okay, you look there. I am going to talk about Germany because it is my favorite restaurant.
Well,
when
I know,
we start talking.
I don't know if we want to kind of...
Okay, we're looking this up. I'm sorry.
China. Yeah, it is Germany. I fibbed.
I was right.
Yes, he was. He was very right.
And with that said, I'm going to say the restaurant to eat at in Germany is the Beer Garden. Biergarten.
Biergarten?
Biergarten.
Garten.
Yes, kind of like kindergarten.
Yes.
Biergarten. It is it is back to being a buffet.
Yes, it is.
They have entertainment there. They have the Oompa band. They have they're seating in there. You sit at these long tables, and you might. They stopped this during COVID for a while, but I think they've come back to it. Where if you're a family of 4, and there's another family of 4, you might be sitting with some people that you just meeting up with, kind of like the true going to an actual beer garden in during Oktoberfest. It's Oktoberfest all the time at the beer garden. Mm-hmm. Mainly a lot of meats, a lot of heavy German food.
You're gonna get sauerkraut.
Sauerkraut. You're getting sausage. Braunschweiger. A schnitzel.
You get hot potato salad.
Yeah, hot potato
German
salad.
potato salad.
And they also have, of course, apple strudel.
Oh yes, very much lots of strudel.
It's so good. It's so good. you get, I mean, they have plenty, a big selection of beers and other drinks.
And their beers, the steins are cold. I mean,
yes,
they
and
make sure
big
you're
mugs,
getting big steins.
And they do that with the if you order a soda too, they put it in a big mug. Or
everything's kind of in big. Yeah.
It's good. It's very good.
The price is
not
$35 to $60 per person.
Yeah, I think that's when we talk about 60, we're talking about yeah, look that up. I want to say when you're talking about the $60 range, the more expensive is during kind of like candlelight processional package, where you can get a reserved seat by sitting there.
Go on.
And well, it does say here $49 per adult plus tax and gratuity, $27 per child. But then you're talking maybe later on, as I said, there might be a little bit more extent. I know they have candlelight processional. They have other special special times where it might be a little bit more. But if you're into German food, it's also a good place to get out of the heat of Central Florida too. It's located in one of my favorite areas of,
I was going to say
EPCOT.
You got a lot of music and dancing in the hall. They encourage you.
And they encourage you to especially kids. I think all our kids, and I think, have gotten up and danced to eating. Our next spot.
Italy is the next.
Yes, I know. I got it right here. It is Italy.
It is.
There's at least one I know.
Via Napoli.
Via Napoli. It is considered probably one of. Most people will say. It is. I don't know about most people, but a lot of people will say that it is the best pizza on property. I disagree with them. I've only had it once. I don't know if it was a bad time or whatever, but they do have pizza there. They also have another Italian restaurant. You might know how to pronounce this better, Jule. Tutto. Tutto Italia Ristorante.
Yes.
It is there. Have you ever eaten there?
I have not.
I have not either. It seems to be, and both of them are, price wise are comparable. But Via Napoli is the one that is more known for.
Via Napoli is very popular. I will tell you, they tell you it's the best pizza. That is true to an extent. If the dining plan comes back, and I'm not sure how it will be this time, but before, when the dining plan existed, when you would go in, the full pizzas were not included. Like a whole family pizza was not included on that. You had to pay for that separately.
Right.
And so if you think you're going to go in there,
probably is going to be the same way.
If you're going in there thinking, oh, I'm a big family, cool, we'll get a discount on our pizza, or it'll be a little bit cheaper, even to get a cheese pizza, that's not going to happen. Those are only for like small portions if you get them. So just to let you know, don't put that on your list. If you're going to be a couple of you, that's fine, but don't take a family of 6. And think
you're only going to get it. Now,
you're going to be able to get
I
that.
could be wrong. We haven't heard as much of what's going to be included on. We've heard of pricing, but we haven't really heard of what's on there. What's going to be included, which restaurants are going to participate in the in the dining plan. So it might be now you're going to, like if you get an order a big, a meal. The thing is, usually with the dining plan, is that each person orders what they want, and so they each have a credit taken away from them.
And that's why
with a pizza, unless you take one away from each person who's going to eat that pizza, that's the only way I can see them doing it that way.
Well, and that's why they did it with individual amounts. Like you get an individual pizza, which again, that's okay, except for that was costing you so much, especially for us when we had a family of 5 and they were little.
Yeah,
that was really expensive.
And if you're like our family,
you were going on a budget.
Well, you were going on a budget, but I was also thinking that it's hard to say, okay, I want this on my pizza, and this person doesn't want that. Somebody might like mushrooms, somebody might not. Some people might like peppers.
And my family each has their own idea of what the pizza's going to look like. So
some of us want pineapple on their pizza. Some of us don't.
Some of us have better taste than others.
Some are right. Some are wrong.
No, I don't mean you. I was meaning like Nick.
Yeah,
I love him, but he's like pepperoni. Nope. Thank you. I want a lot of things.
Yeah, and ironically.
He and I actually eat pizza sort of that way together. We eat the good stuff.
We like stuff. Everything on it.
We do.
And so does
back here behind
my youngest.
Yes.
Now, my other two, not so much.
No. They don't
I
mind.
think maybe Corey's getting a little better with that, but I'm not sure.
We don't. We like when we would say barbecue sauce, they'd go, ugh. You're like, what do you mean? Yeah, that sounds good.
Well, they never... See, they didn't grow up with good pizza. They grew up with Never mind. Sorry, North Carolina. I threw you under the bus. Okay. As I said, I know.
Holy cow, this place is chaos at all times.
Our next, after Italy, is...
No, I can tell you real quick. Hold on. Give me.
I have it right here, too.
American Adventure.
American Adventure, which really doesn't have a table service.
No, but I can tell you what I like. But you told me I have to wait until we get to the end and go back.
What do you like? Okay.
But we have to wait. You told me quick service doesn't count. Okay. I was told that earlier.
Well, there's only one quick service there too. So
again, we're not going to discuss it at all. We're not going to discuss that until we get there.
And then we got Japan.
I know it's important when it's yours, not mine.
Well, you said American. Oh, you were talking
Japan.
About Japan. Japan has a couple of sit down.
Yes.
Table service menus, restaurants. One of them being. Takumi Thai. It is a seafood. It's in the, I think it's in the pagoda.
It is. There's also Teppanyaki.
Yeah.
Teppanyaki is a lot. If everybody likes,
yeah. Sushi.
You like your no.
Well, it has sushi there.
Yeah, but that's not what it is. It's them cooking in front of you.
Oh, kind of like a Benihana.
Yeah, your Benihanas. If you like people cooking in front of you, that's what Teppanyaki is. It's made for them to cook in front of you. That's the tables that most people want is at the stove.
Yeah, the Takumi Thai is the expensive one.
Yes.
Actually, I want to say there's a new restaurant coming to Japan.
It is called Shikisai. Shikisai, and it is going to be a sushi restaurant. That's what it's going to be. It's sushi. All of it's sushi. All of it is going to be, and anything that's not, or things like your noodles based off of like cold noodle dishes and that kind of stuff. So it will definitely be.
And it's supposed to open soon, but sometimes that could be.
That may be a while.
Usually if it says opening soon, and we are in August, we're talking maybe before the end of the year. Maybe unless it could very well be that they're getting ready to open it up Memorial Day weekend.
We don't really know.
Not Memorial Day, Labor Day weekend. Excuse me. Who knows? Those are some of those big times. Okay, now we go on from Italy, and then we go
not
into
Italy.
No, not Italy. Japan, and we go into is it Morocco?
Morocco, yes.
Morocco, and actually, I'm gonna say Spice Road Table. And that is
we've eaten there before.
We've eaten there a couple times. It is very good, very Mediterranean, of course, being Morocco
and the meats are. I mean, you get like lamb and things like that.
Yeah,
you know, a little
some
bit
couscous.
of a different flavor, and definitely a place for vegetarians. It's got a lot of vegetarian options.
It would have some very vegetarian options.
Yeah.
Not my favorite style of food, but it was very good.
Right. Well, I think we had
much like the Mexican food is not my favorite, but I found something I could eat there.
Well, and I was gonna say, I think too depends, because I know our first time when the kids were younger, I felt like we got a lot more meats and kind of like small dishes, whereas the second time I felt like it was a lot more of a like vegetarian patties.
The first time we went was for dinner.
Yes.
And I think the second time we went was for lunch.
It was, and I think
it might have been the difference in the two menus.
Yeah.
It's been a while since we eat there.
But it was good.
It was very good.
It.
Okay. Now we're going on to France. And
I'm not pronouncing the place for them, and we're not on that anyway. That's a snack.
That's a snack, yes.
There is Chef Paul's.
Chez Paul's.
Sorry, Chez Paul. Is it Chez Paul or Chef? I think it's Chef Paul. I don't think they call it Chez Paul.
I'm not sure. Hold on.
I don't guarantee anything. But it's a very, it's fancy and expensive and very, very pricey.
Monsieur Paul's.
Monsieur Paul.
Monsieur Paul's. It is the fine dining, fine signature dining. It will be one of 3 restaurants, I think, when the table services, when the dining plan comes back, that will be 2 credits.
2 credits, yes.
It is, I'm not sure if they might even have a dress code.
Yes, they do.
This is the one that has a dress code.
This one has a dress code.
You can't go in like shorts or flip-flop. And it's not like traditional
it is very French
theme park
food.
day.
It is very French food. I mean, I know ratatouille for sure is on the menu. I know it. And it's like the full vegetable. They kind of tried to do that with the Beauty and the Beast restaurant. It didn't work quite as well because you had little kids. This place has kept with that menu, and their menu definitely ranges, like I said, with fine dining in they're expecting you to have like wines and various cocktails that and they're, like I said, the napkins on your lap, you're talking fine dining, not my thing. I'm not a fine dining kind of girl. I don't love it. It's okay.
Okay. No, before you go, dress code. Okay. The restaurant is a Disney signature dining experience offering fine dining with a distinctly magical flair. Guests are expected to dress accordingly to attire that adheres to the restaurant's sophisticated and upscale aesthetic. Clothing should be clean, neat, and in good condition. Please, no swimwear. They do not say anything about, for guys, a dress code, so you don't have to worry about that. But just understand that they are going to be, they're very particular in there. Now, they also have
You also have
the
one.
menu.
I told you it's very.
Well,
I know
this
ratatouille
is
is on it.
I'm gonna read what they say for this. The new prefix menu, starting at $195, tax and gratuity not included. I don't know if that's for.
I'm getting on here for our menu here. And
I have a hard time believing that's for one person.
Your menu, let's see. Okay, and that's your dinner, hors d'oeuvres, fish courses, meat courses. Holy cow!
It
is French food, folks. I mean, like I
needless
cannot
to
pronounce.
say,
We're talking cassoulet d'escargot à la cressonnière sur une émotion de pomme de terre.
That is.
So, in other words, you better be speaking French when you walk in.
That is the.
And that was an hors d'oeuvre.
And that is, it's all prefixed. You get $195 per adult. Yeah.
It is $195.
So
it's the high price stuff.
It's no.
Not my thing.
Victoria and Albert's and this place.
There is another sit-down
restaurant in France.
I did not realize that. The Crepier.
Yeah.
In France, I did not realize that was considered sit down. There's a sit down area that I always see people sit at. I did not know that.
I think
actually
they also have an outdoor window.
No. That's not. That's different.
That's a different place. Okay.
Different place. Place.
They also have chefs de France.
But this is here. I'll show you it in just a second. Here, the cat just walked across it. Pete, you need to kind of knock her down, please, or she's gonna go back across.
Come on, Midnight. And by the way, you just saw Midnight. That was what that big black thing was going across you.
Okay, hold on. It's the crepier. I was looking at it because I didn't.
We also have.
It is right here. Hold on, I'm almost there. Where did it go? It was just right here. It's right in here. Okay, I'm losing my mind.
There is also.
There it is. La Crepier de Paris.
Yes. There's also another table service one that is not as high end as Monsieur Paul's. It's Chef de France, and it basically serves French food, of course, but it's at a lower price level than Monsieur Paul's. Have we ever eaten there? I don't think we have. I don't think we've ever eaten in France.
Is it? We've only eaten quick foods there,
yeah,
which we're going on, and we're going to talk about that here in a little bit.
Okay. With that said,
we're
moving on to the UK.
Yes.
And right there, we're talking about Rose and Crown.
Well, that's one. Yeah, that's one.
Isn't that the only one?
I think that's the only table service.
Table service. Yeah. Rose and Crown is
not my thing. I mean, not bad. It's good. It's okay.
It's good for.
I like Raglan Road better.
Oh yeah, definitely do. And that's a different thing when we talk about
Disney
Springs. But it's that type of food.
You got bangers and mash.
You got bangers and mash. You got fish and chips. You have Scotch eggs.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff.
Good stuff. It's and it's
definitely it's another restaurant you can watch the fireworks from too.
Yes, they do have some outdoor seating also
mm-hmm.
that look out over the lagoon there. I wouldn't just go. I would if I have a reservation there. I'm probably not eating anything else.
Yeah,
because it does fill you up.
Yep.
And if you're only going for the the fish and chips, there's another option.
This is where we're going to go back and start talking about our favorite snacks
Okay,
and quick services.
We do have one more area to go, and that's Canada.
Oh, well then, why did you bring up that?
No, but I will get back to you.
We're
going to go to Canada. We're going to go to Canada, and we're going to talk about Le Cellier. It is It's a steakhouse.
It's one of the premier steakhouses.
One of the premier steakhouses. And I will tell you, I wasn't as thrilled about it. And I know she wasn't.
No, I was already full to start with. And
we did have a breakfast that day.
I had people recommend the cheese soup.
Yeah.
And the cheese soup was okay. I felt like it was very oily across the top. I didn't really, that didn't settle anything. It was a little bit greasy to me.
I mean,
it was okay.
It was okay, and it wasn't anything that I would write home about.
And we were very close to other people. Like,
very close.
Very close.
Matter of fact, we had better conversation with other people than we did with the staff.
Yeah.
Not that the staff was terrible. They just didn't seem ready to do their job. The other thing is, I had a filet, and the filet was good. It was cooked really well. However, the cost didn't. The steak did not match the cost.
It did not.
It was good. But again, that's why we said with that one place, the prime rib at was it Coral Reef? No, it wasn't Coral Reef.
I don't know.
And when we were talking about prime rib, and we were talking about it was Coral Reef, and they said they had a 10-ounce prime rib for like $34.99. I said that's cheap. That's Disney cheap. Because 10-ounce prime rib at Le Cellier, you're talking probably, I don't know. I'm not going to look it up, but it's definitely over $60. It's just not worth it in my mind. I'm glad we ate there once just to say to that. Now, you might go, you might have the best meal you've ever had. We just didn't. We just didn't. And we had lunch, and neither of us were that hungry. I know. But that ends really table service. Oh, there is one more table service, and I didn't think about it. And neither of us have eaten there. But you have probably all heard about it. It's probably one of the newest. And that's Space 220. That's in outside of the World Showcase.
Okay.
And then
we haven't eaten there,
totally
so
forgot about it.
We're just mentioning it.
Yeah, we're just going to mention it. I've heard mixed reviews. That's all I'm going to say. Then again, I heard terrible reviews for Tony's, and I love Tony's.
Well, what else?
It is. I'm looking at time here, and we are not going to be able to finish
if you go on.
So do we want to just stop here?
Yep.
Okay. We're going to stop here, and the next time we get together, we're going to talk about quick service and snacks and some more tips and tricks. We said this might take three videos because we don't want to bore you with 60 minutes. Yeah, okay. With that said, remember I'm Pete Drexstrom from letpeteplan@gmail.com and an agent for Boardwalk Travel Agency, and this is...
And I'm Jule Dragstrom. Go to jule.style.home.com for my jewelry. Go to www.marykay.com/JewelD for makeup.
And we wish you a magical day. Have a good one. We'll see ya
See ya
next week.